to Lecto. Today we are going to discuss anti-cancer drugs, specifically pyrimidine antagonist. In the previous lecture we discussed the folate antagonist, purine antagonist, but now we are going to discuss pyrimidine antagonist. So let's start. Basically, 5 most important drugs that actually fall in the pyrimidine antagonist. And you can remember these drugs by the mnemonic, and that mnemonics will be the, if you see here, like A, C, G, F. So here is the mnemonic. A stand for acetidine. So if you see here, acetidine. Okay. C for cytarabine. So here is the cytarabine, and another C for the capecitabine. Capecitabine. Okay. G for, you can remember it by the gemcitabine, and last is the fluorouracil. 5-fluorouracil. So these are basically the 5 pyrimidine antagonists. It means it will affect or block the pyrimidine. Okay, how? We will discuss it later. So before we start, we will revise the cell cycle. So actually there are 4 most important phases in the cell cycle. So first is the G1, S, G2 and M phase. So here is, but our main focus will be on the S phase, because in this phase you will see the synthesis of the DNA. Okay, synthesis of the DNA. And as we know that the DNA is very much important in the cell division. In the cancer, our main focus is on the stoppage of the cell division. So if we block the synthesis of the DNA, it's mean we are blocking the cell division. So in the DNA, you will see the most important nucleotide is the adenine, thymine, guanine and cytosine. In this lecture, we will discuss pyrimidine, and pyrimidine you will see the 2 thing is the thymine and cytosine. Okay, these are basically the pyrimidine, and adenine and guanine are basically the purine, which we have discussed in the previous lectures. Okay, if you see, like, this is the structure of the uracil. This is the structure. Actually, uracil also fall in the pyrimidine. You see thymine, uracil and cytosine. These all fall in the pyrimidine antagonist. But the uracil actually present in the RNA. Here is basically the difference. Okay. Here is the structure of the uracil. And if you see, in this lecture we will just focus on we will discuss in detail the 5-fluorouracil drug. Okay. This drug, if you see, like, this is the normal structure of the uracil, but the basic difference is here. At the 5th position, you will see the hydrogen is replaced by the fluorine. So that's why we call this drug 5-fluorouracil. Actually, it is similar to the uracil, but the basic difference is at the 5th position, replacements of the hydrogen with the fluorine. Okay. Now we will discuss how 5-fluorouracil actually acts in our body. So if you see, when someone take the 5-fluorouracil, okay, here if you see, like, 5-fluorouracil, okay, that's entered into the cell. So this is the case 1. It has been entered into the cell. Okay. 5-fluorouracil will actually convert into 2 different things. If you see here, like, first thing is it will convert into the 5-fluorouracil monophosphate. This is the first thing. Okay. Second thing, if you see, it also can convert into the 5-fluorouracil triphosphate. Okay, if you see, it has 3 phosphate, it has 1 phosphate, monophosphate. Okay, it will enter or will combine into the RNA. Okay, when it will combine to the RNA, it will disturb the function or destroy the RNA. Why? Because RNA required the simple uracil, but in that situation, this is actually 5-fluorouracil. It means fluorine is the atom that actually hinders the blockage or normal functions of the RNA. Okay, now the RNA has been blocked or RNA is abnormal. Okay, now next is the 5-fluorouracil monophosphate will convert into the 5-fluorodeoxyuridine monophosphate. This is another important thing. Okay, this compound is very much important. 5-fluorodeoxyuridine monophosphate actually block or inhibition the synthesis of the most important compound. If you see in the normal process, you will see the deoxyuridine monophosphate convert into the deoxythymine monophosphate. It has thymine word. It means it is very much important in the synthesis of the DNA, because DNA required the thymine. Okay, but this, if we take this medicine 5-fluorouracil, it will convert into this compound. Actually, this compound will compete with this compound, that is the deoxyuridine monophosphate. Now there is a competition between these two compounds. For what? For the enzyme. Actually, there is an enzyme, and that enzyme, if you see here, like this is the enzyme. Okay, if you see here, like this is enzyme. This enzyme is actually the thymidylate synthase. This enzyme actually involved in the conversion of uridine monophosphate to thymine monophosphate. Okay, and this enzyme also required cofactor, or you can say coenzyme, and that coenzyme will be the N5 and 10 methylene tetrahydrofolate. Okay, that is actually the folic acids which actually act as a coenzyme. This enzyme cofactor is actually for the thymidylate synthase. Okay, now this compound DUMT, deoxyuridine monophosphate, and the 5-fluorodeoxyuridine monophosphate compete with the binding to this side of the enzyme, that is the active side. Now in that situation, when we take this, it will bind to the enzyme, and when it bind to this enzyme, it will block the conversion of the uridine monophosphate into the thymine monophosphate. Okay, this actually the process, it means that you will see the deficiency of the thymine, and if there is a deficiency in thymine, then you will never see the division or the synthesis of the DNA. When there is no synthesis of the DNA, then you will see ultimately there is no division of the cell. So this is the case. It means it is actually the thymine deficiency death. The death due to the thymine deficiency. Okay, this is actually the most important thing. Okay, but there is another important thing. We take the leucovorin along with the 5-fluorouracil. Why? Because we take leucovorin along with the 5-fluorouracil. Why? Leucovorin actually involved in the direct conversion of the N5 for mile. If I write here, actually it convert the N5 for mile tetrahydrofolate into direct N5 and N10 methylene tetrahydrofolate. This actually act as a cofactor, and this is actually required in the normal process, in the normal conversion, or in the blockage of this process. So this is actually, here is the compound N5 and N10 methylene tetrahydrofolate. So that's why we take the leucovorin along with the 5-fluorouracil. Okay, now this is basically the normal process, that how pyrimidine antagonists act or block the synthesis of the DNA. That is our main focus. Okay, next, and that is actually used in the slow growing solid cancers like the colorectal cancer, breast cancer, ovary and GIT, different types of cancer. And you can also use this drug or topically for the superficial like basal cell carcinoma as well. So you can also use it topically. Okay, if we talk about the adverse effect, so most important first adverse effect is the alopecia. Alopecia means you will see loss of the hairs at different, there are different types of the alopecia. So one of them is, that is actually the adverse effect of the pyrimidine antagonist. Next, you can also see the coronary vasospasm in that situation. Why? In this case, you see that the coronary vasospasm, contractions of the coronary artery, and that ultimately you will see the different adverse effects. Okay, in that situation, and if it becomes severe, then it can goes to the heart failure as well. Okay, but it is very rare situation in this case. Okay, you can also see mucositis. Okay, mucositis, inflammations of the mucosa actually present in our GIT tract and in mouth. So in that situation you get inflammations of the mucosa. Okay, next is the hand and foot disease. In this case, hand and foot disease, that is also called palmar plantar erythrodysesthesia. So this is actually palmar plantar erythrodysesthesia, in which you can see the redness and the paling of the skin from the hands and the mouth in that case. So another, if you see like different adverse effects, myelosuppressions, you will see the suppressions of the bone marrow, and in this case you will see the suppression of the different blood cell formations, RBCs and the white blood cell. So in that, this is also the adverse effect. And last, most important, is the drug interaction. What drugs actually interact, or you should not take that drug along with the pyrimidine antagonist, specifically the 5-fluorouracil, and that drug is the methotrexate. Methotrexate is the drug that is actually interact with the 5-fluorouracil. It is actually the folate antagonist. So this is all about the pyrimidine antagonist. If you have any question, you may ask in the comment section. Thank you so much.